Apparently, the iPad 11 is one of the most popular iPads here recently, with over 10,000 people buying it just last month on Amazon alone, not to mention everywhere else. But why is that? Well, let's talk about it. I feel like the most obvious reason this is so popular is the price. With it being just released earlier this year, it's already been on sale several times, currently as low as $279, depending on where you're looking. It starts with 128 gigabytes of storage and has 6 gigabytes of RAM, so a nice increase over the previous base model iPad 10, which only had 64 gigabytes of storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now, there are a few things to consider when it comes to the display on this iPad, considering it's only got a 60 Hz refresh rate, which may bother some people, especially if you're really picky about screen quality. I know for me, I have some of the cheapest large TVs that you can get, so of course it's not going to be that big a deal for me. Now, the screen on here is non-laminated, which makes it have a small air gap, so if you're using an Apple Pencil, it's going to feel a little bit different than on the higher end iPads. So if that's important to you, just something to consider. It also has up to 500 nits for the screen brightness, which is not quite as bright as the Pro versions, which might make it harder to see things outdoors. I feel like that's not really an issue though, considering the price. Now, one downside is when you're watching YouTube videos or TV shows, sometimes the black bars can be a little large on the top and bottom, but I imagine that's going to come down to personal preference. This iPad is also a little thicker and heavier than, say, the iPad Air, but not by enough that I think is going to make a big enough difference for most people. You've also got the Touch ID right on the power button. Again, most other tablets in this price range don't have a fingerprint scanner. Actually, some that are quite a bit more expensive don't even have a fingerprint scanner either. Now, the battery life on here is pretty similar to other iPads I've tested, which lasted about 5.5 hours in my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness, so plenty to last a couple days with normal use, even longer if you turn the screen brightness down. Interesting thing about the software on here is if you update to iPadOS 26 or higher, you'll now have Stage Manager, so it's going to be even one step closer to the more expensive iPads really in that regard. This iPad also is only going to work with the first gen Apple Pencil or the USB-C version, so you can't just charge the pencil by attaching it to the side, unfortunately. So that's something to consider as well. Although I have to say, when you compare this to some of the other tablets in this price range, it's really nice just to have pen support at all. One other small difference with this iPad, you're not going to get Apple Intelligence, considering it requires the A17 chip or higher. Again, not sure if that's going to be a deal breaker. Now, as far as performance and gaming, it's probably the most premium entry-level tablet that you're going to find right now. It's really not even close when it comes to performance, even when you compare this to the Tab S10 Lite or S6 Lite. In fact, there's nothing really slow about this iPad, as you can see by the benchmark results. I think this is also a good option for gaming, and you could even do some video editing on here as well, which again, you can't really do on any other entry-level tablets that I've seen, at least not very well. Now, you only have one speaker on each side, so it's not going to be the best out there, but I feel like most people will be using headphones most of the time. But here's a quick sample just to give you an idea of what it sounds like. Nice thing is you've got a 12 megapixel camera on the back and on the front as well, and you can shoot up to 4K resolution, which again, most other tablets can't do in this price range. So definitely nice to have. Here's a quick sample just to give you an idea of what to expect. I think overall this is probably going to be one of the best, if not the best, value when it comes to more affordable tablets, especially considering the performance and the price. So it's not a huge surprise why this iPad has been so popular here recently. If you like tablets, phones, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on as usual. I try to get about 3 videos out each week, so keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.